Hey everyone, I am author Sara Crawford and I'm coming at you today with a video in the Authors versus Writing Myths collaboration. So this is a collaboration where 12 authors are kind of debunking 12 writing myths. And this was started by Diana Gunn. So I will link to her channel down below. I will also link to the playlist of all of the videos they've already done and all the writing myths they've already talked about. This is one of the last ones, so you should definitely check out the playlist because there's a lot of good stuff. Tamara Woods just did one last week about writer's block, which was really good, so definitely check all those out. And just check all these writers out in general because they all have really good YouTube channels and they're just making some great content. Okay, so the myth that I'm going to be talking about today is the myth that you must wait for the muse to strike before you can write or create. Now, it's kind of ironic that I should be talking about this myth because my trilogy that you see behind me is called the Muse Chronicles, and it's all about muses and, inspiration for art. And in the story, there is this idea of the muse, and they're actual kind of supernatural creatures that inspire artists to create art. So one might think from reading this that I would subscribe to that idea, but that's not actually true. Yes, it's great when the muse comes to you and you feel inspired, but you can't wait for that. You have to sit down and show up and just start writing. I mean, maybe it's not going to be great, but you have to write something. You have to do the work. And usually, for me anyway, after I'm into it, I usually get inspired when I'm in the middle of it. So for me, I think, maybe it is, the muse striking, but you don't have to wait for that. Sometimes you have to harass the muse and force her to come help you out. Some people really are adamantly opposed to any idea of any sort of outside source inspiring you. Obviously, people have different ideas on that. For me, I think art comes from a place that we're all connected to, but it's bigger than just you. It's something divine, something sacred. I think that's what the idea of the muse really is. Even if you don't believe in God or you don't want to look at it from a spiritual way, I think you're still connecting to, the collective consciousness. So yeah, I mean, I do think that writing, music, art in general is usually better if you do take a moment to kind of get centered and sort of ask the muse to come inspire you, but you cannot wait around for that. And I think a lot of the people that say, oh, I'm just waiting, until I feel inspired, it's really just more about laziness and I don't feel like writing today. There's going to be a lot of days when you don't really feel like it and you have to make yourself sit down and do it. And once you get into it, you probably will feel like it. But sometimes you kind of just have to be a little disciplined to make yourself get started. And if you really read my books, you will see that message in there. Sylvia is the main character. She's a musician. And there's a point where she's talking to Travis, who's her friend, who's another musician, and his muse has actually disappeared. And she asks him, what do you do when you're not feeling inspired? And he says, I just sit down with my guitar and I play anyway, and, hopefully I will become inspired. So he's pretty much saying the exact same thing. So even though I have this trilogy with this romantic idea about the muses, coming to you and then inspiring you to create art, I think the artist has to do their part as well. Okay, so that's all I have for you today on the writing myths about the muse. What do you guys think? I'm curious to know. Do you have a totally different opinion? Let me know in the comments. Definitely make sure you check out the other writing myths This is a really cool collaboration. Thank you to Diana for letting me be a part of it. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos about writing. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.